there, Sandra here from Create in Spain and Siser Juliet Beginners to Pro. This is, I think, about the 6th time I've tried to record this video, so hopefully it's going to go well. If you have been using Leonardo Design Studio and you haven't updated since about the 7th of May, you probably want to update it. Now there are quite a lot of changes and I'll go through some of them, just tell you what they are. But others I will go into and actually show you on screen. So there are many internal bug fixes and improvements. They fixed a bug where the die cut perforation tool settings were saved incorrectly. They were using the fold tool settings, so they fixed that one. You can now show images when print and cut marks are turned off. Improved the font selector with the ability to filter fonts, showing only those that support the selected language, which is probably quite a good idea if you've got a language with particular keys that a lot of fonts do not have. Now, including in this, there is a no wrap option for text to create text without word wrapping. So I'm not going to go into all the text stuff, but that has been changed to make it a bit easier to use. The changed die cut perforation cut is now dark green, so it looks different to normal cut contours, which makes a difference if you've got your perforation cuts in and you want to check that they're okay before you send it to the cutter. And it's easier now to create and ungroup kiss cut and optional die cut decals. Improvements to contour generation workflow and the ability to modify existing cut contour offsets. So if you've already got an offset on something, you can change it. There is a new eyedropper color selection tool. When saving files that contain many references to the same image, only one copy of the image is saved in the file to reduce the file size and memory usage. That makes common sense because you don't want lots of images in one file if they're the same image. Ungroup pars also ungroups, separates traced images. Now I've not tried that out, but that sounds like it should be able, if you've traced, for example, a PNG with multiple characters on it, that you should be able to separate out both the cut lines and the images from that. So the image goes with the cut line. That's what it sounds like. I haven't tried it out yet. I might be trying that out later on. They've also updated French, Spanish and German translation. They've added the ability to change colour of complex items. I'm not quite sure what that means. Okay, so they have added left and top position edit boxes to specify object location accurately. So you notice that down here we have where the width and the height is. If you click on position, it's going to give you basically the coordinates. So you've got left and top here. And you can lock them if you want them to be locked. So for example, if I pick this here and I move it, you can see in that box these numbers have changed because I've changed the position. And likewise, if I go into the box and I type 0.0 and then press that, we get it going to 0.0. So you can do it that way. Or you can go up to the arrange and you can go to align objects, left, center, right, blah, blah, blah. And you can also align to the page. Now the next one is a preference pane and it's under the file menu. So we have the usual thing for measuring units, changing the language, and we also have continue to create draw mode, which means that once you've drawn one shape, it will continue to draw another if you got it checked. But then we have this thing here saying all preferences, and this is one that is a bit more interesting. So you have your language, you have your measurements, you have keyboard nudge. Now in my case, because I always use metric, when I opened this up, it was originally in Imperial, and it came up with a really funny number for this, which basically was very, very odd. So I have just changed it to 0.1, so it's on a millimeter. That's my nudge. I know what it is, I know what it means, easy peasy for me to use. Now we have default page settings. Choose the settings used to create new jobs. In here we have small page margins. And you notice these little red exclamation marks. And if I hover over there, is it going to do it? I've got to catch it really, really quick. Here we go. It says, note, ensure your printer can print borderless or this close to the edge to fit the marks. So for goodness sakes, if you're going to use this, check before you do an important project, check that you are going to be doing exactly what your printer can do. So if you set it up to print borderless or you set it up with these margins, that it will actually print these registration marks where they're supposed to be, that they can actually be printed. So do check it first. Just do a test run and work out how close you can get it. On this one here, you can use the mat if you want to use the mat. And you can change your mat size to the various mat sizes available there. Default page width. Now my default size is A4. I don't necessarily use it all the time, but it's certainly my default. So I put in the measurements for that. There are editor options as well. So specify if you want to only perform the action once or not. So drawing shapes or drawing curves, the zoom mode, show hints for mouse actions is this one here. You can always check it here if you want it. If you want to see your paper size, you have to go to material roll and then it shows the paper size. Okay. It seems slightly odd to me that you have to go to material roll because I'm not using a roll of material. I'm not using vinyl, I'm using a page. So if it was to actually say something else, it would probably make more sense because I'm not using a material roll. To me, that seems like, yes, I'm going to be using vinyl and I'm not. So yeah, you have support for multiple cutters, and I think this was under the file menu. Okay, manage cutters. No, I don't have one connected at the moment because I've got a new laptop and I haven't added the connection yet. But this is where you can add all your different cutters if you have more than one. If you're lucky enough to have more than one, that's where you put it. Select objects by color option is added, and this is this one here. You can select by color. So if I accept, you'd think that would work, but I know this isn't going to work because this is grouped. I have to ungroup it first. And then if I go to this and select black, it picks up the black piece there. It doesn't work if things are grouped. Ungroup it and it will work. In the layer panel, in here, there's a tab that says more, and that comes up with more options for you to be able to select things by. And you've got lock and unlock and hide and show. So hide selected, lock selected, unlock all, show, unhide all, and hide selected. And you've got various options here for selecting things from cutting contours, fold lines, die cut lines, invert the selection, select your current layer, select shapes by color, all sorts of selection tools in there. You can also collapse these down if you want to have more space, so you can collapse that, or you can just bring one of them up and then you can bring the other one up. Paths menu is newly created up here. Rather than going through edit to paths, you can go to some of the functions directly from the paths menu. There have been changes to cutter commands that should ensure, doesn't say will, just says should, and I can't test it because I've not got my cutter connected. The end of cutting message sounds the finished beep alert. If you've got it switched on, that is. And the small page marks option, which was in your preferences, so file, preferences, all preferences, small page one is in there. That allows you to have your print and cut artwork closer to the edge of the media. They've changed the print dialog in the Windows versions, not applicable to me, to avoid resetting current printer's paper size. And that is pretty much it. So quite a lot of changes, particularly if you haven't updated for a while. Go ahead and click on the update. If you go into help, let's cancel that. Go into help and go to check for software updates, and then it will lead you to the download. So that's it for today. I will see you again soon. Hope you found this useful. Take care now.